Say what's cracking out there, YouTube. Y'all already know how this gonna go. It's your boy 16 to life. Yard down. I'm back with another story today, so let's hop right into it because I may try to give y'all two stories in one. All right. These stories, they take place at CMC. So now CMC, the dynamics of this penitentiary is extremely different from any other penitentiary that you've been to in California, you know. So you got a lot of different variables going on that you're not supposed to get at another prison. Like for instance, it's got CMC East, got A yard, B yard, C yard, and D yard. Now the yards they all share the same, medical facility, the chapel, the canteen, you know, the vocational areas. So you could be on A yard and actually maybe walk maybe about a minute and now you can go right to the C yard gate. It's like, the best way to describe it, it's like a big old wagon wheel. In the middle of the wagon wheel sits this tower, this cubicle with tinted windows that the police sits in, the CO sit in. And now you can, when you go to A yard or any yard, it's like a turnstile. And when you go through the turnstile, it's a camera in there. You flash your ID. Your ID it'll have, like if you're on A yard, it'll have A at the top, so the CO know you belong on that yard, and he'll buzz you through. So, but now when you come out, like I say, we all use the same chapel, the same medical facilities, you know, the same, you know, MTA, the nurse, that MTA is where the nurses and the doctors are. So, you know, we all, if you get pills and you got to go to the pill line, then everybody from all those yards got to use the same pill line. So it's very different in that aspect where, like I say, if you got a homie on C yard, all y'all got to do is say, hey man, we're going to meet up at the pill line at 5:30 or whatever. So, okay, this day in particular, I'm over there in the pill line. I'm picking up me some pills. So it's a white boy. I don't know, because they from B yard. It's a white boy, two white boys standing directly behind me. Like, so all of a sudden I hear them, they start talking. Now the white boys, they happen names to be Josh and Psycho. Now Josh, he was like an unassuming, goofy, nerd ass looking white boy and shit. Real, this motherfucker damn near reminded me of Shaggy Doo and shit. The motherfucker Shaggy, from Scooby-Doo, real goofy looking white boy with glasses on. And you like, sometimes, you know, he didn't have that convict image per se. So sometimes he might be one of the cats you would look at and like wonder, like, what is this motherfucker in here for? Now the other dude, Josh, he had the typical white name, Josh. Josh is like about 5'8", you know, kind of real skinny and shit, weird looking white boy with glasses on. Now the other dude he was talking to, his name was Psycho. Now Psycho is the typical white convict looking. He got a gang of tattoos, and he kind of bigger than the average white convict. You know, he's probably about 5'9", 5'10", you know, had some nice weight on him, maybe 190 and shit, had tattoos all on him and shit, talking all tough. So I happen to, you know, like I say, I'm getting bit, not even necessarily bits and pieces. I'm getting a whole conversation because they right behind me and they talking loud. So Josh is the old meager white boy. He's saying to the dude, hey, what's going on, Psycho, with that money, man? You told me that you was gonna pay me by today, man. And Psycho was like, well, man, listen, man, I don't fucking have your money, bro. And I didn't have it and shit. And you know, I'll have to get it to you when I get it to you. And so Josh, they going back and forth like this for a long time. Josh was like, but come on, man, you gave me your word, man. I borrowed that money from some other dude, and I have to get him his money, man. You know, I gave him my word. He said, well, I fucking told you, Josh, I don't fucking have your money, man. So what the fuck? What are you gonna fucking do about it? So now, as the conversation is getting more heated and more heated, I'm picking this shit up. Okay, so I start stepping up in the line because I got a feeling at any minute these motherfuckers, they just to go to fighting. I don't want the police to run over there and mace me and get caught up in their bullshit. So now I'm starting to step up. Now, it's only so much I can step up. So now I'm stepping up and even stepping up off to the right outside the line a tiny bit. So I give myself some more space. Because like I say, they talking shit. But now Josh is real cool. He's like, come on, man. You got to keep your word, bro. You told me and I gave my word on this, man. You promised me that if I loaned it to you, you give me the money back. He says, well, man, I fucking don't have the fucking money, man. You know, you keep fucking pestering me about this fucking shit. You're not going to get shit. I told you I don't have it. And he's like, man, I can't go back to that yard without this money, man. You know, you promised. So they do this for a minute and they talking back and forth. Then all of a sudden, Josh said, well, come on, man. You have to do whatever you have to do to get me that money. I can't go back to the yard unless I have that money, man. I gave my word. And Josh says, Psycho said, listen here, you fucking piece of shit. I told you, you fucking piece of shit. And now when he said that, okay, for those who may not know, calling someone a piece of shit in the pen with the white people is equivalent to calling a person a snitch. I know nowadays, you know, a lot of people call people snitches and shit, but when I first came to the pen, putting that label on somebody, that was basically you declaring a death sentence. You know, you call a person a snitch. I was always taught if you call a person a snitch, you're supposed to be doing two things while you calling them a snitch. You're supposed to be either shooting them or stabbing them. You know, that's a very horrible title to try to label somebody with, and you shouldn't do that unless you have the paperwork. But the whites, I noticed, you know, sometimes hanging around them or just listening to their conversations, you know, being in prison, you hear them talking, that term piece of shit was equal to a snitch. So when he called him, fuck you, you fucking piece of shit, now I'm not going to give you shit, or whatever he said to him, Josh went crazy. Oh, I'm not a piece of shit, you motherfucker. He just started hitting him. So I'm, okay, I turn around, the dude Psych, with all the tattoos, Psycho, whatever his fucking name was, that dude balled up just like a bitch, man. He balled up, fell all on the ground. Josh went to punching him and kicking all of them. I'm not a piece of shit, I'm not a piece of shit. Now the police, they ran over there, they maced him and shit. It really maced Josh, because he was doing all the activity. He was whooping the dude's ass. So I was like, damn, you know, I never would have expected that shit up out of the dude, Josh. So that just goes to show you sometimes that you always, like they say, you can't judge a book by its cover, man. You know, the dude went crazy, beat the motherfucker's ass. The dude, you know, balled up like a bitch. They handcuffed him and they both took him off. I never seen him again. I'd never seen him before that. But anyway, that's the end of that story. I just got a quick story about that. Now I got another good story too about my partner, man. I don't, you know, I mean, he may or he may not want his name on here. And since I don't know, I'm not gonna say it. We just gonna call him. He was about a Duarte. You know, Duarte is I think he was about a hood called Do-Rock. And so anyway, I got to know him and shit. We had probably been in the pen in CMC East on AR, but maybe I'd like to say about a year or something together. Okay, so now, you know, we see each other. Matter of fact, we used to live on the same tier, but at this point in time, I had moved to another building. So, you know, we see each other out there. We chop it up. He was an older dude. He had life too. He had life on 3 strikes, and so, you know, we be out there chilling and chopping it up. Now, so one day, He's out on the weight pal. He working out. He out there working out and shit. Now, just so happened, I don't know if the dude had somebody had came to him because he heard he was here or whatever, but somehow, some way, he ended up bumping to this dude who was his uncle by marriage. The dude had married his aunt, and my buddy from Duarte, he had been down so long, he had never met the dude. So like I said, they go to talking, and he find out, okay, he married to this dude's aunt. So at some point in the conversation, dude asking, well, how much time you got? My partner from Duarte tell him, hey, man, I'm a lifer. I got 3 strikes and shit. I've been down about 14, 15 years on a I think it was a non-violent 3 strike or some shit, a gun or some shit. You know, it wasn't no murder or nothing like that. So the other dude, his uncle-in-law, he tell him, well, hey, he say, hey, man, you know, I do a little law work, man. Go in there and get your, you got your transcripts and shit? He said, yeah. He said, okay, well, go in there and get your transcripts, man, and bring them out to me, and I'll go over it. You know, I'll review your shit for you. He said, all right. So, you know, he go in there, he get his transcripts, he bring them back out. In about a day or two, the dude who do the legal work, he come to him, man, while we out there on the weight pal again. He said, hey, man, you going home. He said, they fucked up on your case. You going home, and, man, you fist to go home. I'm telling you, you going to be up out of here. He said, for real? He said, man, listen, man, you fist to be up out of here. So, the dude, he said, I'm getting ready to head to the law library right now and file whatever the name of the paperwork was. Now, true enough, so maybe in about 2 or 3 months, they called my buddy from Duarte. They called him back down. To court. So he stayed out in court maybe about a month. So when he came back, sure enough, man, they had took all his time off, gave him time served. See, what happened was he had the lawyer dude had found a structural error. You know, something that happened during his trial. Now they have 2 type of errors. They have a harmless error, and a harmless error is exactly like it sounds. It's a harmless error. It's an error that may have been made in your trial by either the judge or by your lawyer, but it's harmless regardless of had that error had been made or not. You still would have got convicted, and they ain't fucking with you. The structural error is a big error. It's like, okay, this is a major no. This shit couldn't happen. This shit affected your trial. So what happened was, I can't remember exactly which way it was, but either they had a topic they was supposed to discuss in front of the jury and they didn't, or they wasn't supposed to discuss in front of the jury and they did, but it related to him having a 3rd strike and letting him know about his enhancements or whatever. So anyway, like I say, man, when the dude come back, they end up giving him time served. They knocked his knocked that life up off him. In about 2 weeks, he was gone to the house. Now imagine, having life. So like I say, when we first came to the pen in California in prisons, that regardless, even if you had life without, you wasn't going nowhere. You wasn't going nowhere. The way the system was set up, they would only probably had gave maybe in 20, 30 years, they probably only gave 3 or 4 lifers dates. And then the governor can take your date. If everybody in California don't have to go and see the parole board. Out in California, only lifers got to go see the parole board. So anyway, like I say, they end up taking away the time and gave him time served and let him out. So imagine being locked up in prison thinking you never finished to go home. You know what I'm saying? You got a life sentence, you're not getting out. Then all of a sudden you look up one day and you go home, and so that was just like Christmas came super early for the dude. And, I just wanted to say that I seen a whole lot of things in prison, man, but I ain't never seen nobody not want to go home. In some neighborhoods and actually a lot of the minority communities, we make it seem like it's a badge of honor going to prison. Everybody want to get out talking about, oh yeah, man, I did X amount of time. I did 20 years. I did 10 years, whatever. But like I say, them dudes be in prison, man, some of them be breaking the door down to try to get to the law library. We all glorify and make this gang shit seem like it's cool, but it's the very opposite when you get inside that motherfucker, man. Dudes be wanting to go home, and it's way fucked up. So that's just a little story right there, man, that if you got the chance and the opportunity to stay free, because once you get inside them prisons, it's an ugly situation, man. And that's the end of my story. Resume normal program. Y'all have a good one.